Have you ever looked around at your life and thought, how did I get here? Somewhere along the way, your calendar became full, your mind became full, and before you knew it, life started feeling like something you are managing instead of something you are actually living. And I don't think this happens the way we think it does. We tell ourselves, it's just one more committee, one tiny favor, one small responsibility, one volunteer opportunity, one person asking for my help. And none of those decisions feel that big in the moment. In fact, separated, they feel very doable. But here's what I've been thinking about lately. I don't believe our lives are built on one decision. I think they are built in the micro decisions, the tiny ones we barely even notice. The quick, sure, I can do that. It's only an hour. I'll figure it out. I'll make it work. I'll squeeze it in. Those little decisions don't feel that significant on a Tuesday afternoon, but stack enough of them together over months or years, and one day you wake up living a life you never intentionally built. And I think that's why so many capable, ambitious women find themselves overwhelmed, not because they made one bad decision, but because they made hundreds of good decisions for everyone else without stopping to ask what those decisions are costing themselves. I need that to land because every single yes is creating something for you. We tend to think a yes only costs us time. An hour here, 30 minutes there, but I don't think time is actually the biggest cost. Every yes is also spending your attention. It's spending your presence, your emotional bandwidth, your patience, and your future energy. And here's what I wish we talked about more. Most of us don't decide whether to say yes by asking, does this align with the life I'm trying to build or the life I'm trying to live? We actually decide based on whether we're capable of doing it in that very moment, that week, or that month. Those are two completely different questions. Just because you can does not mean you automatically should. Let me repeat that. Just because you are capable doesn't automatically mean you should say yes. Capability has become one of the biggest traps for high achievers. The more capable you are, the more people naturally hand you or ask of you. At work, in your home, with your friends, and in your family. Until one day, you realize you are carrying a life that was built more from expectations and pressure than it was with intention. And now here's what I find encouraging and also sustainable, right? Follow me on this for a minute. If your current life was built one micro decision at a time, it means that you don't have to wake up tomorrow and completely reinvent your entire life. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to move across the country. You do not need to blow up your calendar or suddenly become someone completely different. You don't need to become that wake up, work out for an entire hour every single morning because that's what's going to change my life. As humans, we tend to think change has to be big and dramatic to count or to matter. But when in reality, when you really stop and think about it, guys, the life you are living today wasn't created by one big dramatic decision. It was created. You got here by hundreds of little ones, which means the life you want to be building and the life you want to be living won't be created by one big decision either. It'll be built by the hundreds of micro decisions the little ones. In other words, the exact same way, but with more awareness. One intentional choice, one courageous no, one aligned yes, one moment where you actually allow yourself to pause long enough and ask, does this belong in the life I'm trying to create? That's where change actually lives. And not just change, sustainable change. I want to give you something that has been incredibly helpful for both me and the women that I've been coaching. It's an exercise pulled from my Elevate Your Frequency workbook. We have adapted it into what I now call the Subtraction Audit. I don't want you to start by asking, what should I be doing? We've already done that. In fact, that is what got you here. Right? This is what I do with my coaching clients. Instead, I want you to ask, what no longer belongs, right? Now, I want you to grab a piece of paper and make 3 simple columns, right? The first column is everything you are currently saying yes to. I want you to get it out of your head. The commitments, the expectations, the responsibilities, the thing you've simply kept doing because they've always been there or you've always done them, right? That's the first column. And then beside each one of those, I want you to ask yourself, what is this actually costing me? Different, right? Because it's not just time. Is it costing your peace? Is it costing your patience? Is it spending your presence, your weekends, your energy when you walk through the front door? And then the final column, which is the final question, does this still align? Not did it align with me 5 years ago, not do other people expect me to. One simple question. Does it still align with the person you are becoming and the life you are trying to build? Because that's very different. And I want you to spend some time with these questions, right? Spend some time here. Where am I saying yes from guilt instead of conviction? What have I been maintaining simply because I've always maintained it? Which responsibility creates immediate relief when I imagine letting it go? And before adding one more thing to your plate, what needs to be removed first? This is the part everyone gets wrong. We want to feel different. We want to be living different. And by default, we think we need to start doing things and adding things and changing things. That's not what we're doing here. Because before we can do any of that, we need to start removing what is no longer serving you. We need to subtract before we can add, right? We need to make your life feel a little lighter and feel a little bit more like yours. We've been taught that growth always comes from adding and more, right? But some of the biggest growth moments in life doesn't actually come from adding at all. Some of my clients' biggest breakthroughs come from having the courage to subtract what they are carrying, create space for what they actually want, and let go of the things that were good, no longer right for the season they are in. The life you want isn't going to appear because one day everything magically changes for you. No, the life you want is already being built. It's being built in the conversations you choose to have, the commitments you choose to make, the invitations you choose to accept, and the ones you politely decline, the boundaries you finally choose to honor, the small decisions that seem insignificant in the moment, but over time become the direction of your life. Your life becomes the sum of all of those micro decisions. So the question isn't, what do I need to change about my life? Or definitely not, what do I need to change about me? The question becomes, what decision am I making today And where is it leading me? Are your decisions building the life you actually want to be living? Period. And if this conversation has you looking at your own life a little differently, right? Thinking about change a little differently, my Elevate Your Frequency workbook will help you continue this process. It's full of practical exercises like this that will help you move from living your life by default and switching over, my friend, and living it by design. You get to choose. Put yourself back in the driver's seat, because creating space is not about doing less. It's about making more room for what matters most to you.